Across this planet, in every corner of every continent, a struggle unfolds. It is a conflict as old as I am, a battle for the most precious of all resources, a place to call home. For many of my creatures, territory is not merely a patch of land or a stretch of water. It is the very source of their survival, the key to their future, and the legacy they will leave for their young. To protect it, they will engage in conflicts of astonishing ferocity, deploying weapons of tooth and claw, horn and tusk, in brutal, often bloody confrontations. These are not simple squabbles, but wars fought with a primal intensity that can rival any human conflict in its raw, desperate violence. These battles are waged for the highest stakes imaginable. A defended territory means access to food, to mates, and to safety from predators. Losing it can mean starvation, exile, or even death. And so, when a challenger appears at the border, the response is swift and absolute. From the sun-scorched plains of Africa to the dense, humid jungles of the tropics, the rules of engagement are written in instinct and etched by generations of survival. The combatants push themselves to their physical limits, risking grievous injury for the chance to hold their ground. We will journey into the heart of these unseen wars, witnessing the courage, the strategy, and the sheer power unleashed when an animal's home is threatened. These are stories of epic clashes where the fate of individuals, families, and entire colonies hangs in the balance. It is a stark reminder that in my kingdom, peace is often a fleeting luxury, and the right to exist is something that must be fought for day after relentless day. Prepare to witness the raw, untamed drama of wildlife's fiercest territory battles. On the vast golden plains of the African savanna, a kingdom is defined not by lines on a map, but by the scent marks of its ruler. Here, the male lion bears a heavy crown. His territory, which encompasses his pride of lionesses and their cubs, is a constant target for ambitious rivals. These are nomadic males, younger and stronger, who wander the plains seeking to usurp a king and claim his dynasty. The reigning male must be ever vigilant, his powerful roars echoing through the night not just as a declaration of presence, but as a stark warning to all who would dare challenge him. When a challenge inevitably comes, the confrontation is a spectacle of raw, explosive power. There is no negotiation, no surrender without a fight. The clash begins with intimidating displays, roaring, posturing, and kicking up dust, but it quickly escalates into a maelstrom of violence. Claws, capable of tearing flesh from bone, are unsheathed. Powerful jaws lock onto manes and shoulders, each combatant attempting to overpower the other through sheer brute force. This is not a ritualistic dance. It is a genuine life-or-death struggle for supremacy, a brutal ballet where a single mistake can be fatal. The consequences of these battles are profound and often tragic. The loser, if he survives, is driven into exile, forced to live a solitary, precarious existence on the fringes. He is often left with deep, debilitating wounds that may fester and lead to a slow death. For the victor, the prize is absolute control of the territory and the pride. But his first act is often a brutal one, killing any cub sired by his predecessor. It is a cruel yet essential act from his perspective, bringing the lionesses back into estrus so he can sire his own heirs and secure his genetic legacy before the next challenger arrives at his border. In the leaf litter of the forest floor, a war of a different scale but of no less intensity is constantly being waged. Here, the combatants are ants, and their colonies are superorganisms, vast city-states with populations numbering in the millions. Each colony has a distinct chemical signature, a unique scent that acts as a national flag. Any ant that does not carry this scent is immediately identified as an enemy invader. When the borders of two powerful colonies meet, the stage is set for a conflict of truly epic proportions. A war fought by countless soldiers on a front line that can stretch for meters. The battles are not chaotic skirmishes but highly organized military campaigns. Armies pour forth from their respective nests, marching in disciplined columns towards the contested ground. Specialized soldier ants, with their oversized mandibles, form the vanguard, acting as living tanks designed to crush and dismember the opposition. They engage in ferocious one-on-one combat, locking jaws, injecting venom, and tearing opponents limb from limb. The ground becomes a writhing carpet of black and red, a testament to the sheer scale of the carnage unfolding. The casualties in these ant wars are staggering. Thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of individuals can perish in a single day's fighting. The dead and dying are often carried back to the nest, not for burial, but to be consumed as a source of protein to fuel the war effort. These battles can rage for days or even weeks, a relentless war of attrition. The goal is total annihilation, or the capture of the enemy's territory, its resources, and its brood. For these tiny warriors, the colony is everything, and they will sacrifice themselves without hesitation to ensure its survival and expansion. Deep within the forests of Central Africa lives our closest living relative, the chimpanzee. Their complex social lives mirror our own in startling ways, and this includes, the darker aspects of our nature-organized, lethal violence. A chimpanzee community holds a core territory, rich with fruit trees and other resources, which they must defend. This defense is not a passive affair. Groups of males, almost exclusively, will form border patrols, moving silently and cautiously through the undergrowth along the edges of their domain. Their demeanor is not one of foraging but of soldiers on a mission. These patrols are searching for any sign of intruders from neighboring communities. If a lone individual or a much smaller group is encountered, the patrol's tense silence erupts into a coordinated and terrifyingly brutal attack. The chimpanzees become a frenzied mob, using their collective strength to overwhelm their victim. They will bite, kick, and bludgeon their rival with their hands, feet, and even rocks or branches. The level of violence is shocking, a calculated effort not just to drive away an intruder, but to inflict maximum injury, often resulting in death. This is not random aggression, it is a deliberate strategy of territorial expansion. These violent raids serve to intimidate rival groups, pushing them back and allowing the aggressor's community to slowly absorb new ground, gaining access to more food and resources. It is a chilling glimpse into the evolutionary roots of warfare, a planned and cooperative form of violence used to secure a group's prosperity at the direct and lethal expense of another. For chimpanzees, the border is a very real and very dangerous place, where diplomacy is conducted through force. In the great northern wildernesses, from the frozen tundra to the dense boreal forests, the howl of the wolf is the sound of territorial ownership. A wolf pack is a tight-knit family unit bound by complex social bonds and a shared reliance on their hunting grounds. The size of this territory is vast, often spanning hundreds of square kilometers, and it must contain enough prey, like elk, deer, or caribou, to sustain the entire pack through the harsh seasons. They meticulously mark their boundaries with scent, a clear signal to other packs. This land is ours and it is defended. Trespassing is a grave offense in the world of wolves, and it is rarely tolerated. When one pack strays into the territory of another, the encounter is fraught with tension and aggression. The resident pack, with the advantage of numbers and knowledge of the terrain, will confront the intruders. The initial stages are a war of nerves, posturing, growling, and baring teeth, as each side sizes up the other's strength and resolve. The alpha pair of the defending pack leads the charge, their authority absolute as they rally their family for the impending conflict. If intimidation fails, the confrontation explodes into a bloody battle. Wolves are formidable predators, equipped with powerful jaws that can crush bone. They fight with a terrifying efficiency, targeting the legs, flanks, and neck of their rivals. These are not symbolic clashes, they are deadly serious fights that frequently result in severe injuries or death. The primary cause of mortality for many adult wolves is, in fact, conflict with other wolves. It is a brutal reality of their existence, a constant struggle to protect the hunting grounds that are the lifeblood of the pack and the key to their family's survival. Along the slow-moving rivers and lakes of Africa, one of my most unexpectedly dangerous creatures holds court. The hippopotamus, despite its placid, herbivorous lifestyle, is fiercely territorial. A dominant bull, or beachmaster, claims a specific stretch of water and riverbank as his own. This territory is his kingdom, granting him exclusive breeding rights with the females who reside there. He spends his days submerged, seemingly lethargic, but his eyes are always watching, alert for any male who might dare to challenge his reign over this precious, life-sustaining real estate. Any male hippo who enters a bull's territory is seen as a direct threat, and the response is immediate and devastatingly violent. The resident bull will rise from the water, issuing a series of deep guttural honks and displaying his most formidable weapon, His mouth, yawning wide, he reveals enormous canine and incisor tusks that can grow up to 1/2 meter long and are sharpened to a razor's edge. This is not a sign of tiredness. It is a clear and terrifying threat, a promise of the brutal power he is about to unleash upon his rival. If the challenger does not retreat, the fight that follows is one of nature's most brutal spectacles. The two colossal animals, each weighing over a ton, crash into each other with immense force. They use their enormous heads to shove and their massive jaws to inflict horrific wounds, slashing and stabbing at each other's thick hides. The water churns red with blood as tusks gouge deep into flesh. These battles can last for hours, ending only when one combatant is killed, mortally wounded, or driven away in defeat. For the river tyrant, holding his territory is a matter of absolute, bloody dominance. The battles we have witnessed are not born of malice, but of necessity. They are the raw, unfiltered expression of the will to survive, to propagate, and to secure a future for the next generation. From the lion's roar that echoes across the plains to the silent, deadly advance of an ant army, the message is the same. This place is mine. The earth, the water, and the resources they provide are finite, and the competition for them is the engine that drives so much of the drama in my natural world. The stakes could not be higher, and the combatants fight with a desperation that we can only watch with a sense of awe. These territorial struggles are a powerful, shaping force. They determine which genes are passed on, which groups thrive and expand, and which falter and disappear. They maintain a delicate, if brutal, balance, ensuring that populations do not outgrow the resources available to them. The victors win more than just a piece of land. They win the chance to continue their lineage, to etch their story a little deeper into the fabric of life. The scars they bear are not just marks of conflict, but symbols of their resilience and their success in life's most fundamental contest. As we look out over a seemingly peaceful landscape, it is worth remembering the unseen boundaries and the silent tensions that lie within it. Beneath the surface of tranquility, a constant struggle for existence plays out. It is a world governed by ancient rules, where strength, strategy, and courage are the currency of survival. These fierce, bloody, and epic battles are not an aberration. They are an essential and eternal part of what it means to be alive on this planet. They are the price of a home.